As we continue down this rabbit hole towards retirement, we're realizing that retirement means different things to different people. And I think this video, we're just going to talk about what it means to us and what we've heard from some of you and from some of our friends about what it means to them. So stick around and see where you fall into this spectrum of what retirement is. Hi, I'm Rich.
And I'm Robbie.
And you found our channel before it's too late. We're just trying to help people in our stage of life navigate the final third of their life in a way that makes them happy and feels fulfilled. Kind of naturally in that vein, we've kind of been focusing lately on what retirement's going to look like for us and maybe what it's going to look like for you. If this interests you at all, it would be great if you'd like the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell. And for this video, we're really hoping that we get some interaction because this topic it's one that just everybody has a different take on it.
For sure. So to be thorough about this, I went to the dictionary and I looked up the definition of retirement. And what I found there said it's the act or the fact of leaving one's job and ceasing to work.
But that seems, well, obviously that is the definition of retirement, but I don't think that fits everybody's kind of individual definition. Right?
I agree.
Like for me, for example, I think when I retired, that is pretty close to what I think the definition is. When I retire, I just want to walk away from my job, the career that I've been doing for many years, and not have a schedule, right? And be able to kind of determine what I'm going to do each day kind of on my terms. And it has very little to do with
working.
Yeah, nothing to do with working, but it has nothing. I don't plan on needing to make another income.
Right. Okay. I think we look at it a little bit differently. I think for me, it's more just about not having a set obligation, kind of having more freedom to do what I want to do. Leaving a career, I get that part of it, that point of it. But I enjoy what I do as a nurse. I enjoy caring for others. And I think for me right now, I still see retirement as maybe still working, but doing it when I want. So as a nurse, a PRN kind of a thing where if they need help, I have the option to decide, can I help today? Can I not help today? And not just for me, it's more just about not having that obligation that I have to go to a certain place every day.
But it's also for you about not having to need that money.
Absolutely. Oh, for sure.
Right. And I think for a lot of people, and we've heard this in the comments and as we've talked to people, during our interviews or, after interviews or whatever, what does retirement mean to them? And we've heard everything. We've heard kind of the gamut of it. Like, well, you aren't retired if you're working at all to bring in any income. And I guess I don't necessarily think that's true. I think, for me, I could see myself working as some sort of a consultant or maybe even if you consider this, what we're doing here on YouTube, if this is work, this is something that may bring in a little bit of money, but it's not something required, but it's something that I enjoy doing. But not something I'm obligated to do.
Right, exactly. Yeah. For some people, I think it also involves, making that transition from living your life based on the paycheck that you make from your career. Now you're at that phase where you live your life based on your retirement funds, your pensions, if you choose to do some side work because you want to, living off of that. It's just more about having that choice to do it how you want to do it instead of the obligation of doing it because you have to.
Well, and in that case, it still kind of revolves around the finance side of it. Like you're moving away from the job that maybe you've made your living at for decades. and now you're going to live off of the money that you made when you saved,
Yes.
or Social Security or pension or whatever.
Right.
But it's still more about just transitioning kind of where your income's coming from.
Right. Exactly.
And I guess I can see that as thinking about that's retirement, is drawing your income from another source. But for me, it's more like, it's more about the schedule and
Yeah.
and not having to do things because I'm no longer obligated to a company or to a boss. Or if it's in the case of those of you that work for yourselves, you're no longer obligated to fulfill those obligations that having your own company has.
Right. Right.
I think your definition of retirement kind of changes as you age too, because you see different people doing it differently.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, 10 or 15 years ago, walking into a place of business and there'd be a person there that was clearly of retirement age. I mean, maybe 70 or 80 or older.
Yeah.
And they'd be working, and I'd think, oh, that's too bad. They must not have saved well enough.
Yeah. Like you felt bad for them. Like here they are at this age and they're still working.
Right. But, the more I talk to people,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of those folks aren't working because they have to. I mean, some are,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of them are working because that's how they're getting their social interaction.
Absolutely.
That's how they're getting out of the house.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing so that they can feel like they're still contributing to a society that got them where they are, or brought them along this far.
Yeah, yeah. And I think a perfect example of that is my dad. My dad is 83 years old. And up until just recently, due to an accident, he's worked full time. My mom passed away 10 years ago. And after she passed away, he just made a decision that he wanted to continue to work, even though he definitely could have retired many years ago. He's chosen to stay very, very active. He loves the social aspect of it. He loves getting out of the house. It's kept him physically in a good shape. And I think he'd be the first person to say, don't retire, but not because he financially can't do it. He just didn't want to retire because he wanted to keep working. He loves what he does. He loves people.
And there are people out there who 100% believe that because they've heard stories about people retiring and then sitting down in their chair and then having a heart attack, right? They feel like their only way to stay alive is to keep working and to keep going out there and doing it. It may not be about the money, but it's just about being active and being engaged in our world or in their community. Mm-hmm. So in one of our recent videos, I interviewed a gal named Linda who kind of talked about getting the advice to not commit to anything for a year after she retired. Because you just don't know how your schedule is going to fill up in retirement until you are retired. Right. And that got me thinking about, again, what is retirement? To some people, it is being able to volunteer a whole bunch. You're not making any money, but you're out there helping people. But to other people, they're not retired then because they have this commitment that they need to go to, that they can't just set their own schedule. Mm-hmm. And I guess for me, that's not right. Like I feel like that's part of what I'm looking forward to doing in retirement, is being able to volunteer, help other people out when I can, even if it is scheduled, even if it is, I'm going to volunteer at my church and they expect me to be there every Wednesday. Right. Then that doesn't mean I'm less retired because I have that. That means I'm more able to give back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think, Rich and I, we talk about this a lot too. I mean, I'm a very scheduled type of a person. So we've even had discussions about, what our morning's going to be like. I want to get up at the same time, do my workout, do my routine. That's very scheduled. And some people, I think, would look at that as, no, retirement is sleeping in till 10 o'clock in the morning and not having an alarm and just getting out of bed whenever you feel like it.
But I also think that as we've aged, we know that's not realistic.
Exactly.
People talk about, I want to sleep in, but there's very few people at our age that aren't, their internal clock's not going off pretty darn early in the morning.
Right.
And, you can lay there in bed. And that's kind of where we differ, is I don't feel the need, like if I wake up at 6, I might not pop up and go start doing stuff.
Right.
But I may, instead of having to think about, I got to jump in the shower because I got to be to work at 8, it'd be, hey, I can lay here and doom scroll on my phone if I want to, or I can get up and do something else that I want to do.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Right. Another thing we've seen in the videos that we've done is that, a couple of people that I've interviewed, they still do some of their own work, like on their own schedule. And then we'll have people in the comments that'll say, oh, they're not retired. And I think maybe that's true in a sense, but I'm starting to really believe that retirement is more of your state of mind.
Right.
Like
For
it's
sure.
more how you feel about it. Like if part of what makes you vibrant and active and wanting to get up and face your day is to have something to do that maybe it's connected to the career that you spent, maybe it's not.
Maybe it's something completely different.
Right. Maybe it's just something that gives you some joy and some purpose, and that's your idea of retirement. Good on you. I mean,
Right.
that's good for you.
Yeah. I mean, I think ultimately it just, whatever your definition of retirement is the correct one. I mean, I think we all are going to have a different idea of what it's like, whether you have a part-time job, whether you volunteer, whether you're on a schedule, whatever it may be. I think it's individualized to whatever we want it to be. That's the beauty of retirement.
So whether you're busy in retirement playing pickleball, golf, volunteering, or whatever, or maybe you are one of those that has a part-time job or a consulting gig and you're using that for your play money,
Vacation fund,
whatever it might be.
mm-hmm.
If you're enjoying your retirement, don't let anybody throw some shade on you and saying you're not retired. It's really about your mindset. And if you want to know how some other people are doing in retirement, check out this playlist here. Thanks for watching. God bless.